Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Shelly and I'm all about books and reading here on my channel. Okay, so if you do know me, then you know that this is not my usual setup, but I am in California visiting family, and I am here for an extended period of time, and so while I'm here I have the ability to film videos and we're having a grand old time. So anyways, so the background is different and that's what's going on. And yeah, and so what are we doing today? Well, today I am going to do the mid-year book freakout tag. Is that what it's called? Okay, question number one is the best book you've read so far this year. It took me a minute to kind of comb through my thoughts, and then I remembered, yes, that one, that really good book about women and writing. And it's a nonfiction book, and I read it back in February, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And if you have followed my channel for any length of time, you may be able to say it. But if not, then it would be Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, which is a book in which she tries to answer what does it mean to be a female writer, a woman writer. And she takes that very literally and explores the words woman and the word writer. And it's beautiful and very literary in that it dives quite deep into a single idea or two ideas, and she explores them. Woolf explores those two ideas, what it means to be a female and a writer, with such clarity and with such veracity. It was just such a compelling read, and I think I've thought about it weekly, if not daily, since. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite, the best book I've read so far. Oh my gosh, ambient noise. Very Shelley style. Harry came with us on our trip, and it has been great fun, and he is living his best dog life out here. He has so much freedom. Because of the way that my parents' home is set up and the way their yard is set up. And so he is living his best dog life here in California, and it's been great having him. So yeah, anyhow, so question number two is the best sequel you've read so far this year. And that definitely goes to Hilary Mantel's The Mirror and the Light, which is the third book in the Thomas Cromwell series, which starts with Wolf Hall and then follows with Bring Up the Bodies, and then she ended it with The Mirror and the Light, and it was brilliant. It was such a fantastic end to Thomas Cromwell's story. Very epic, long, methodical, one that I would love to revisit because it is just, some of the scenes were some of the most gorgeous prose I've ever read in my entire life. So I just, yeah, definitely goes to The Mirror and the Light. Okay, the next question is a new release you haven't read from this year but want to. So that would go to M, Son of the Century by Antonio Scurati, and translated by, I don't know, I'll flash it on the screen. Sorry, editing, Shelly. But I have heard Steve Donahue talk about this book. It is set in fascist Italy, under the rule of Mussolini during, I think, pre-World War II. And it gives you the perspective of, from the perspective of the fascists. So that is the loose definition that I've heard about that book, and I continue to think about reading it at least once a month. And I heard about it, I think, back in January or maybe February, and I just continue to think about it. Okay, and then question number four, most anticipated release for the second half of 2022. And this is maybe not too exciting, but, and it might be out already actually, and it's Either Or by Elif Batuman. I read The Idiot by the same author earlier this year, and I really enjoyed it. It is, the first and second novel go together. They're companion novels or part of a series, so to speak, but I wouldn't be surprised if they could be read like standalone. Anyways, they follow a young gal, Selene, who is going to Harvard, I believe, and it follows her through her first year of college, and it's very much an awkward girl's experience in college, and maybe not just awkward, but shy and someone who's quite the millennial. So there's the sort of quintessential ecosystem of references that she builds, and I really was very much entertained by that book. And the follow-up, Either Or, when Selene goes into her sophomore year, that is coming out or has been released, and I am really excited for that. Okay, question number 5. Biggest disappointment this year, and that would definitely go to C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I just talked about on my channel very recently. I'm going to link my June wrap-up down below. That's where I talked about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but the long short of it is that I found the first 7 chapters very familiar and very evocative of my childhood. Provocative of my childhood? Not sure. Anyways, and I really enjoyed those first 6 or 7 chapters, and then it just took a turn in which the story was ruined thereafter. So yeah, so anyways, yeah, a bummer, but it's okay. I think it's a sign that maybe I shouldn't continue to read C.S. Lewis's children's books, which is fine. Oh no! Okay, question number 6 is the biggest surprise this year, and that would go to In by Will McPhail. This is a graphic novel that I read maybe a month ago or so. Anyways, it's part of a project that I did, a month with my graphic novels, in which I prioritized reading my graphic novel collection, and In was part of that. I'd heard it was funny, but that book got me in stitches. Like, I thought it was so funny. There was moments where I was bothering my husband Ted. I was like, Ted, you have to read this because it's just so stinking hilarious. The premise of the book is a young man who has a desire to connect with others and has difficulty doing so. But yeah, really funny. Okay, so question number 7 is a favorite new author. I'm going to do a new to me author, and that would be James Baldwin. I started the year with Giovanni's Room, which is a gorgeous love story, gay love story, and then I followed it up with his essay, The Fire Next Time, and I purchased Go Tell It on the Mountain, and would love to read that sooner rather than later. So James Baldwin is new to me, and it was immediate. It was like immediately I was like, oh my goodness, I must read everything he has ever written. Please and thank you. The next prompt is newest fictional crush, and this is gonna go to, I've heard a lot of people kind of stumble on this and tweak it to fit them, and so I'm going to say like fictional crushes, and like I like the relationship between 2 characters, and it's a very crush relationship. It's a high school relationship, and it is the one in Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, I believe. I'll put a picture up. It's a graphic novel. I read volume 1, and the 2 characters, one moment, let me look up their names. So it's Charlie and Nick, and their relationship in Heartstopper is so stinking sweet, and it's very like that sort of infatuated, crushy type feeling that one would have in probably high school, which is what where Heartstopper is set, and I just love it. So newest fictional crush is this series that has a crush in it. I hope that makes sense. Next prompt is newest fictional crush, and that would definitely go to Lily Bart of The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton, who is a very complex, very layered individual who is in a position where she doesn't have a lot of wealth, and she's interacting with people who do. And she's put in a lot of very precarious and interesting situations. And the way that she handles them, I continue to think about her, even though I read her back in May. And just a fascinating character, to say the least. Okay, prompt 10. A book that made you cry this year. I don't really cry too much at books anymore these days. I would have to say Young Mungo by Douglas Stuart did make me swell with emotion. It did get me kind of like right here where my heart was in a little bit, my chest was in a bit of a knot, and I was worried for him. And yeah, so I would say that book has made me feel quite a bit. A book that made you happy this year. Ooh, let me think about that. A book that made me happy this year was The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. That book just makes me smile because it's so intricately plotted. It is about the gold rush in New Zealand and a murder that happens, and you're following sort of the tale of what happened, and you get to know all of these characters. It's a sweeping, epic book, very long, like 800 and some odd pages, I believe. And what I loved about it was that Eleanor Catton just was so thoughtful with her plotting. She was so intricate and just careful. And I mean, it's something that I felt should be slow clapped because it was just so good. And yeah, I really appreciate that. And so that book made me quite happy. And when I think back on it, I just have to smile because I find Eleanor Catton's sort of brand of cleverness right up my alley. I just thought it was fantastic. And I look back on that book with fond memories. Okay, question number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. I'm going to go with Anne of Green Gables, which was given to me by my friend Sonja, who is a commenter here on BookTube and a friend. And the book is just, it's precious, it's beautiful. I loved Anne of Green Gables when I read it back in January. Fantastic book. And then she gifted me her copy, and I just love it. There's a gold edging. I'll try and find a picture of it and pop it up of the exact copy that I own, but I just find it precious and I adore it. Okay, the final prompt is, what do you need to read by the end of this year? I don't think that there's anything I necessarily need to read, but maybe that's just my squabble with the language. But I would love to read, oh gracious me. I would love to read through the rest of my 22 classics in 2022. Maybe I'll update you all on the little projects that I have going and where I'm at with all of them. I would love to finish the Heartstopper series. I found that series just very, very heartwarming and really enjoyable. And I don't know, there's a couple of other reads that I have on my mind, but nothing too pressing. But those two kind of one is a project and the other one is a graphic novel series. That's it. Low key for me. All right, what about you all? I've done all the sharing. I want to hear from you. If a question in this tag has called to you and you want to answer it, please let me know. Best character you've read, saddest book, book that made you cry, book that made you happy. Please let me know. Please let me know. But yeah, that's it. So signing off, me and little Harry, we're signing off. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it, huh? And I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.